Welcome to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, aka Tony, here with some of my amigos, mi compadres, my hateful and loved people that I like to see every Sunday and hear from throughout the week. Doughboy, my bad, Doe. I keep doing that to you. I apologize. Mateo and Pucho. And today's going to be one of those days where we get down to the nitty gritty on some topics. Some people's feelings might get hurt. Some might not. Some of us really don't give a fuck if the feelings get hurt, but that's just how it is in this game called life.
I wonder if you could guess who doesn't give a fuck about your feelings.
I'd be the top dude.
I have something to say real quick. Yo, happy Juneteenth. Yo, shout out to them making it a national holiday. Very good. That's a good America. Good America.
Did you see some of the takes on that from those Republican senators that voted against it? Where they were like, we just got too many holidays. We got, 12 holidays now? That's too many. It's like, what a weird fucking take.
That was weird.
Too many holidays.
I got a little conspiracy about that too.
Yeah?
Because this weekend I went down to my mother's house. I was driving to my mother's house on Juneteenth, right? Mm-hmm. Shit didn't become a holiday, I think, officially until Thursday. Is when it got passed. So literally Thursday it got passed and everybody found out they're off from work on Friday. Like, that's literally how it happened, right? Yo, the police were out. Yo, they were out. I swear to God, I've never seen so many cops out and about on my commute down.
You was off
on
Friday?
Juneteenth. What?
You was off Friday for that holiday?
No, I wasn't off. I'm off every Friday.
Yeah, he takes most Fridays off.
Yeah, I was just driving down south.
So this is like a national holiday. This is a holiday that you can have off, like 4th of July, Thanksgiving, shit like that, right?
If you're a government worker, you now have this off.
Oh, government worker.
Federal,
okay.
That's a federal holiday. That's like the way it works for us.
It's a federal holiday, which means it will probably bleed into the private industry. Like,
yeah, because I was working Friday.
Yeah. It's only mandatory for people working federal related like jobs, post office, military, congressmen, things like that. But yeah, man, the cops were out. I was driving. I swear to God, I've never seen more cops in my life. And I just wonder if they were like, it's Juneteenth, boys. Let's go fuck some shit up because we hate black people. Like,
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think they were just out
more. I
more
was shocked. I was shocked.
They might have been just out more just because like people maybe would have gone a little bit too crazy because it's Juneteenth, or maybe that's what they were thinking. I don't know. But
why would they think that? I've never seen cops like on any other holiday.
Like on MLK Day, there's so many fucking cops out because all these dudes do out here in Florida, dirt bike, 4-wheelers, gunning it up and down in between streets and shit. So there's a lot on MLK Day.
What's wrong with that?
It's dangerous. What do you mean what's wrong with that?
But what if they're not being dangerous?
You're eating red lights and through normal, you're not following any traffic fucking rules. Like, you're just eating red lights and shit. If there was an area where they let them do this, like, yo, we're blocking this off so y'all can just gun it, that'd be fucking lit. Everybody would be safe and no one would complain. But these guys are literally just cutting in between cars with 4-wheelers, doing wheelies and shit, eating red lights, blocking off certain parts of traffic so they can just do these stunts.
Yeah, I know that even just accelerating too hard from a stop is you can get a ticket for that. It's called exhibition of acceleration, and you can get a ticket even if you're not even if you don't break the speed limit. You can get a ticket for just taking off too fast.
That feels very
dickish.
Fucked up. That feels that being able to give somebody a ticket for that feels a little shitty. Like, what? That's like a special law for who? Who was the asshole that made this go into law? Like,
I can tell you, I can answer that very easily. Teenagers. It's mostly teenagers you hear about getting that particular ticket because they're just driving like dickheads in their new cars and just like peeling out at every single stoplight and stop sign.
You don't see those videos online where it'll be like some guy in like a fucking Lamborghini or some kind of like super luxurious car and they're trying to flex on people and they go and accelerate mad hard and then boom, they end up crashing into something. I think if you accelerate hard, you could more easily lose control of your car.
Or even those in those supercars and the backfire of those Lambos and shit sounds like AKs. That shit be loud and people hate that shit.
I've got a buddy that I'm not going to call out by name, but I will say that almost every single time that I've been in a car that he just purchased, and he tries to show off like how fast the car is because he buys nice cars, he buys like super quick like BMWs. He had like some really quick those 350Zs, 300Zs, those old like Nissans. Mm-hmm. Every single time that I drove in the car right after he had gotten it, right after he'd purchased it, he would do some stupid shit at a stoplight and try to show off how fast his car was, and we would go off the road and we would hit the curb. We'd end up in the ditch. I wasn't with him one time, but apparently one time they went through a fence because he was doing the same shit with a different buddy of ours. So yeah, it's dangerous to accelerate real fast.
Yeah, I don't like doing stuff like that. Although I do like I like showing off because I can show off on my bike now.
I mean, as a cyclist, I feel like you would like it. It would make sense that you would want that law enforced, honestly, because like, let's say you're running through, you're doing your what do you call it, the Idaho stop or whatever, where you're running through the light. And this dude in this like car that can do 0 to 60 in like 2.5 seconds accelerates through the light. The second it goes green. I mean, that dude could jump into that intersection before you're all the way through. Like it's a possibility.
I've learned to ride with such a. You got to be so like cynical when you're out there. You got to be so aggressive. You got to be so defensive that like. I mean, although people would. I bet you guys, if you guys followed me in a car, you'd be like, oh, nah, this nigga's bugging. But I ride to a manner that, I get to where I'm going and I'm looking at what I'm doing.
You're just breaking all laws is what you sound like.
I'm not breaking any laws when I'm riding with you know what I mean? I guess, yeah, once I get to a red light, if there's no cars coming or there's no pedestrians, then yeah, I go. Or, one better, if I'm waiting at a red light, you can watch the cars, and as soon as there's a gap between two cars, like one was stopped too long and the other one already went, I could just roll right through there. I see like an opportunity to go through, stuff like that. Like,
so not to beat a dead horse, no pun intended. I was just driving back up home from my mother's house, right? Me and my wife stop at a red light, and what the fuck do we see? This happened a second ago. What the fuck do we see?
Probably some shit I see in Texas all the time.
Guy on a horse. Never see a guy on a horse, ever. Guy on a horse. Tank top, jean shorts, chancletas. The sandals, right? Just riding out. Somehow, bald man. I'm like, this shit already looks all kinds of fucked up. In the street, like a car, right? He's in the street like a car, slowing the traffic down. He pulls up to a spot. He doesn't signal his left-hand turn, and he turns left across the intersection and just rides off. And I was like, me and my wife were just like dumbstruck by this. And then I was just thinking, like, we did briefly touch on the whole horse thing with the guy running into the horse shit and falling off the bike, right? But where do horses now like lie in the spectrum of transportation items or things, forms of transportation? And how does Tony feel about a horse in the street? Because he's really upset about bicycles in the street. I'm just curious.
Did you know that you can get a DWI while you're riding on a horse?
My wife was like, does Tony think like he doesn't have a license plate, so he's not legit? Like he's got to fucking screw a license plate right into the horse's ass.
You'd get a butt plug. You'd put a license plate on a butt plug. That's how you would toss it in. That's the only way it's not cruel to the animal, right? You can't screw into the...
Or what if you're one of those fucking jerks that fucking put nut sacks on the back of their truck's fender? You hung nut sacks off of the horse's nut sacks, and you're getting like a double bounce action. That'd be fucking ridiculous.
I think the horse have more respect than the bicycles.
You think so? Doey, I got a question for you. When you're riding down the streets of New York, do you ever just drop a loaf while you're mid-ride, just leave it in the middle of the street?
Like fart?
Oh.
No, like a full-on turd, like in the middle of the street.
Do I take a shit riding on my bike?
Yeah, and just keep going
onto the street? No,
Yes.
I've never done that.
I would say Doey is more respectful than a horse and deserves to be on the road more.
Huh? I don't. If we take this shit away, I think the horse is more respectable than the bicycle.
Okay.
Those poor horses on 59th Street. Get them out of there, bro. Those
They still ride horses in New York?
In 59th Street. Yeah, man. They take them in Central Park. They take them a little bit into 42nd Street.
That's
one of the
crazy.
worst things in the world, bro.
Why?
Those
Wait,
those
for a
poor
tourist
animals.
attractions?
Yeah, tourists, bro. You
Oh.
pay $600 to go half a mile or some shit like that.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Do they wear special horseshoes in the city? Like
I
feel
think
like
so.
they couldn't wear the iron ones, right? Like the steel
They're-
ones.
At that, they're miniature horses. They're not as big as your normal horse.
Huh.
They also
Interesting.
have the police unit horses, which are fucking gigantic.
Don't they have shit catchers in the back of those horses?
I think the police ones do.
Absolutely not. None of these things.
Really?
None of these fucking things do. Yeah, man. Yo, shit is a real thing in New York. When you have to come to New York, remember one thing: shit and piss. Right?
But you contributed to
things
the
you get-
piss.
We all
that
do
is true.
at some point, right? Look, dogs piss all over the sidewalk. Nobody gives a fuck about dogs pissing all over the sidewalk. Why should anybody care about me pissing on the sidewalk?
Because that's like that's a law.
You're walking with little Fifi, fucking shitting and pissing all
If
over
a
the
cop
place.
sees you pissing in the side, the niggas that they can give you a ticket.
That's why you don't go somewhere where you're gonna get seen by a cop to be pissing.
Why see you piss between two cars in the middle of a street and at night?
Oh, did I get caught?
Doey's just a big proponent of civil disobedience. He feels that the law is not a just law, so he's protesting in his own way.
Yo, you can't because you know what? It's a shitty thing, bro. You'll be in New York, you'll get out of the subway and doing the pee dance, and you'll start to go into places. Hey, I got to use the bathroom. No, sir, you can't use the bathroom. That shit should be a criminal law. If you need to use the fucking bathroom, you should be allowed to use the fucking bathroom. But I get it. There's fucking homeless people. People go shoot up in the bathroom.
Dude, I have a related question actually. I was at the pool at my little condo complex yesterday, and there's this super old lady that lived there. Apparently she's lived in this condo complex for like 29 years. Like this one little condo, she's lived there 29 years. And she was telling us about a situation at the pool. She was telling me and like all the other like random people that were there, where they had to put locks on the bathroom doors now because this pool is actually surprisingly fancy. Like it's got like bathrooms like out at the pool. It's got a shower so you can like shower off and get your pool shower done, get all the chlorine off you afterwards. But they have locks on the doors now because she said there was a homeless guy that was jumping the fence, and then he would go into the bathroom at the pool, and he would be in there for 30 minutes, and then he'd come out, and then he would leave. And she was very upset about this. And in my mind, it's kind of smart. Like I've heard like the number one thing you should do if you become homeless or you're experiencing homelessness is you should get a gym membership because then you have a place you can go and shower. Like you can just go there, you can go and shower. And this dude's just getting that for free because there's an outdoor bathroom and he could just go and sink shower it up and take a dump and clean himself up. She called the cops. The cops, she said, didn't do much. She had a neighbor who apparently owned an AK-47, and like one day they went and scared this guy out of the bathroom, and he has not been back since because that neighbor went in there with an AK and like scared this homeless man out of the bathroom. The story escalates. Like it escalates just real quick. Like I was shocked at the pool when she just like casually mentioned this guy with going in there with an AK and clearing a homeless guy out of the bathroom. But yeah, what's y'all's take on that?
Listen. Homelessness is fucking serious. You know what's the worst part about homelessness is that it's in everybody's mouths. Everybody's like, "Oh, we should do something about it. We should do something about it." From politicians to presidents and nobody does a fucking thing. It feels like about it at all. Oh, we really need to get mental health people out here, and it's just like it's cool to say, and then nobody does a goddamn thing about it.
Yep.
I think that AK shit is beast. That man
Right?
should go to jail. That shit is fucking beast. Like, there's no reason you should be bringing a fucking assault rifle into a bathroom because a homeless man is just trying to clean himself to go back out in the streets for a whole night. Like, that shit is fucking wild.
I mean, you say that, and then you look at places like, I heard from what I hear, Lake Osborne in Lake Worth has turned into a tent city. Mad homeless
not
people
Lake
out
Osborne.
there.
They have one section of the park that's just theirs. They try to kick them out and it doesn't work. They just come back, and
I'm saying that's an issue, bro.
it's not an issue. Everybody knows that that's their section. Like, it's
you do not want people living in tents on a park, bro. That shit is not what the park is meant for.
What is the park meant for?
For people to enjoy themselves.
They're
for people
enjoying themselves there.
Like a leisurely. Nah, dude.
Everybody has a bunch of homeless people laying down in the middle of the park. You think that affects other people's enjoyment of the park?
It's talking to you, though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Talking to you, Tony. I think Doe's answer is yes.
I don't know what his. Oh, you said yes.
Yes.
I think if they're in one corner of the park, that's a big ass park, mind you. If they're in one corner of the park and that's known as the homeless town, no one walks over there, so they won't be bothered by them. Everybody. It's
what
a big
if they tented up right on the basketball courts?
Oh, that won't work for them. That won't work because them boys that go play basketball.
But I mean, that's kind of like my point. Is that like the park isn't for a bunch of homeless people to tent up. Like, no offense to homeless people, I'm not saying like the problem's on theirs. I'm not saying the problem's on them. It's like the city should step in and figure out what the fuck's going on. Well, how could we solve this? What do we need to do about it? Like,
yeah, the city don't give a fuck.
It's what we just went through here in Austin. Like, there's cleaning up all the homeless camps. But like, it's fucking weird, man. So the city bought this hotel, this like abandoned, this old hotel, and they like turned it into like it's going to be like a shelter for people experiencing homelessness now, which is cool. But these same people that voted to like criminalize being homeless, essentially, like they make it illegal to camp in public spaces and things like that, because we had a lot of like little spurts of like tent cities going on here in Austin. These same people that voted for that criminalization are so against this like hotel for homeless people, like being in their neighborhood. It's like, so what solution do you want here? What do you?
It's the same thing in New York. It's the same thing right now. It's a big whoop because now the homeless are going into all the rich areas. Washington Square Park, if you look it up on Google, has been having a lot of issues with people being at there 3 a.m, 4 a.m, drug use, shit like that. And these people that are paying millions, 2 million, 7 million, 14 million, buy their little apartments, and these are like the uppity New York residents. Oh my God, we have to walk outside and see people doing drugs. They're partying until 3 a.m. They have sex in the park. So it's like I on one hand, I hate that aspect. Especially with the hotels. They have them here in New York. Upper West Side, they were complaining about it a lot. Oh, it's dirtying up our neighborhoods.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to dirty up our neighborhoods. Now we have to deal with them every day. Listen, I get it. Because I live in a bad neighborhood and I have to deal with them no matter what. Like, they are in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these people are very mentally ill. A lot of these people are off the hinge. Some of them are nice, decent people. I'm not gonna. I sound like Trump right now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Some of them nice people. Most of them are degenerates. No, I'm joking.
So, but I guess to center the conversation back on Mateo's point is what's happening in Washington Square Park is that the city designated an area for homeless people, or
no, it's just now that everything is unrestricted, people have been going to the parks much more. Everybody is outside, like just chilling until late in the morning, and now they're having to set like times that the park is closed because a lot of the rich residents around those areas aren't feeling all that.
That's crazy.
So I guess earlier something you said though was it's really fucked up. Everybody likes to talk about homelessness, but they don't like to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of like putting it on the politician, right? But I personally don't think it has anything really to do with the politician. I think it has everything to do with the people, like us. Is that like we all say like, yo, we want to solve homelessness. Like we don't like that there's homeless people just around. Like that's kind of fucked up. Like they should have, safety, shelter, food. Just all the basic things that anybody would expect to like live, right? But then when they come up with solutions like they did, like Mateo said, was like, yo, let's set up this homeless hotel. Well, now that homeless hotel has to be somewhere. And anywhere that place is, the people in that area that live there vote that they don't want that thing to be in their neighborhood.
Yep.
So even though they're saying that they want the problem to be fixed, they just don't want it to be fixed in their backyard.
Basically, what people really want is they would just want to ship the homeless people somewhere else. Like they just want them not anywhere near them. Like
if you guys have if anybody lives in New York and they've ever been to 125th Street in Lexington in the past few years, we call that zombie land. Shit is some of the worst shit you've ever seen. So many drug addicts. So it was just like the worst train stop, the worst avenue in Harlem. Shit is terrible. It's terrible. It's and that happened because Harlem was getting cleaned up. So because all of the middle of Harlem is now $1 million brownstone and rich people are moving in, once again you have this push and the cops are like, what are we going to do with all these people? We push them all the way to the east side, and now they don't bother them past the metro station. They can stay all the way over there, but they can't like be in front of the station. They can't. But the 456 train station, 125th and Lex, wow.
Bad?
I don't ever want to go. I hate the 4, 5, and 6. I don't like those trains just because they're so. The subways in New York recently have just been people getting stabbed, people getting knocked out, pushed onto the tracks. All sorts of shit in New York is happening. We had that serial killer at the beginning of the year, killed
serial killer,
killed 4 people in like a 2-day span. With this big ass knife. He didn't kill 4 people. He injured 4, killed 2. He was stabbing up homeless people. He was stabbing up people asleep. He was stabbing up. Shit was terrible, bro. But that's like another conversation. That like the violence in New York is really getting bad. But anyways, homeless. I don't know. Man, I don't know what is the right answer. A lot of these there is a group of these people that don't want to be anywhere else but on the streets. You can give them shelter, you can give them what they need, and they will still continue to be on the streets. Some of these people just, this is their lives, you know what I mean? It's weird.
I would probably disagree with that, just because I think that the reason a lot of people experience homelessness is because of mental health issues. So like any solution to fix the homelessness is an issue. Like you have to provide shelter, you have to provide drugs and mental health assistance and addiction assistance. And no city has passed like a comprehensive enough like form of combating all the associated issues with homelessness. So the issue just continues and it gets pushed and it just gets pushed and pushed and pushed.
Have any of you guys seen what's going on in Venice Beach? It's crazy. Homelessness in LA and in California is on a different level.
Yeah,
they're imagine Lake Worth Beach just full of tents, just like all of the homeless.
What do you think is the solution for homeless people? Like what?
Get them some sort of comparable housing where they can, you know what I mean?
And who do you want to pay for that? Taxpayers?
I mean, it has to be the taxpayers. Yeah,
sure,
absolutely.
I think. I think since I think that the rich people who are making the city people push them in certain directions out of their view, right? I think they should put up a front for these homeless people.
It's never gonna happen. That's what there's plenty of rich people on this earth, Tony.
I mean, look at what's his name's ex-wife fucking dropping billions of dollars. Like,
she also just donated to a charity, if I'm not correct. Which is
donate 100 complexes for these homeless people. But at the same time, you can help a homeless person out so much, but they'll still go back to the street because that's all they know.
Could billionaires end homelessness? Absolutely, 1,000%. Will billionaires end homelessness? It's looking like a no.
Man, I got to tell you, I am disappointed. I am very disappointed. Partially because of this belief that homeless people like really enjoy being out on the street. Because I got to tell you, man, I've been camping for like 4 days at a time before in Texas, and it sucks. And that was me on purpose, me camping. I don't think anyone is camping under these bridges in 120-degree weather for fun or because they enjoy
have mental illnesses. That's why.
But I would correct myself. I'll correct myself. It has to be from some sort of mental illness. But I know some people that have gotten help and they still will rather be out on the street than, you know what I mean? Like it's weird. I
mean, mental health is tricky though. I mean, like even if you're like just treating depression and things like that, like it's always, there's lots of tweaking, and these are people that don't have a permanent address and they don't have a lot of stability in their lives. So it's hard for them to get the continued assistance they need. That would be my like a take on it, is why I think it's hard to get some of these people off the streets. But I will tell you the other thing that has me disappointed recently, though. We were talking about, you mentioned billionaires. Did you know that Jeff Bezos is going up in that rocket and he's going to come back? I thought he was just leaving the earth, and I was fucking stoked, dude. I thought he was just gone, and I was so happy. Get the fuck out of here.
That's crazy.
Take Elon Musk with you too. Send both those men up to space in a fucking rocket.
Yeah, I can't stand them.
The worst.
Fucking damn.
Wait, why don't you
like on like 11 different
Elon
tangents.
Musk? What did Elon Musk do?
I think
he
Elon
just talks
Musk
about a bunch of shit he don't know about, and everybody looks at him as like, well, he's a successful businessman, so he knows what he's talking about. He runs a science company, so anything that has anything to do with science, it's like, yep. Anything he makes up, it's like, yep, checks out. He has a bunch of bullshit takes.
Yeah.
Things regarding the stock market, things like that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But a bunch of people just see that Elon Musk said it and they eat it all up.
I feel like he should have gotten he should be like federally charged for like SEC related crimes at this point, but whatever. I guess those kind of crimes are not for the super billionaires, trillionaires, whatever the fuck he is at this point.
Yeah. About the fact like rich people aren't gonna fix homelessness. I mean, like, I don't know. It's kind of weird to expect that someone is just gonna give up what they have just because. Like, I don't know. People don't typically work that way. So I think it's up to the government to, really it's up to us, the voter, to vote for people who are going to propose certain legislations that will force rich people to pay taxes for those things. And then, whenever we pass tax laws, like, rich people are paying like 80% of the taxes in this country anyway. So like they already are paying like a tremendous amount. Like whether they could pay more is a whole other conversation. But still, like if we pass tax laws that, hey, some bucket of this is going towards homelessness, like the rich people are going to be footing the bill, really. So I don't know. And as for solutions, I'm like with Mateo. It's like we need to create housing for them. We need to create like things to help them get education, healthcare, food, and probably most importantly, things related to mental health. To have therapists, psychiatrists, get them drugs that they need and things like that. Because I guess I don't buy into the idea that homeless people just want to be on the street. I think a lot of them are drug addicts, or they have some type of mental illness. So it's like, they might end up back on the street, but it's like it's not necessarily because they like the streets or anything like that. It's given their circumstances, it seems to be how they're going to function best in their mind.
even in New York, you got people that have disabilities. They get disability checks, but then they pretty much stand on the street all day and like that's their second job. They get their checks you know what I mean? They have a place to live. It's like a job in New York. Literally to beg for money because tourists are willing to give you money right out of their pocket. You know what I mean? And this is why they stand out there and they get their little money. I'm not saying that makes it right or wrong, but I've seen on my night shift for 5 years, I saw the same people at the same times, just like clockwork. Just like I was heading to work, they were getting on the train to beg for money. And after a while, you can only give so much of your money away before you're like, hold on, my nigga. I don't have money to give. I'm paying my own bills. And that's not to sound like shitty. That might sound terrible, but I've stopped giving all homeless people money because I just don't got it like that. But it sounds messed up because I'm tipping Chipotle workers and I can't give. I don't know. I feel like maybe because I tip the it's showtime and then they doing the dance.
I mean, I got to tell you, dude. Like, I don't think that you have the ability to end a homeless situation for even a single individual. So I would not feel bad about stopping giving money to homeless people if you feel that you don't have that money to be able to spare. Like, you can't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Like that's not a good practice to have in your life.
There's a homeless guy on the block that I work at. And I give him money sometimes, but then when I give him money, then he asks more. And I'm like, oh no, I created a situation where every time I pass by this person, now he's asking me for $1, $2. And I'm like, bro, I'm good for like $2 every 2 weeks.
There's a technique.
And I'm like, I want to set this up with him.
There's a technique you should do. I've done it and it's worked fantastically. It's a gas station by my job. For all the homeless people, crackheads, whatever, will be there. They will come up and ask for $1 or some change. Like, yo, I'm trying to get home. My car broke down. I asked this guy. I was like, all right, no problem, bro. I'll give you $2. Just wash my windshield of my car. There's a fucking windshield wiper thing there that you can self-clean it because it's got bugs. You do that and I'll give you $2. Come on, man. I ain't trying to do that. So then you don't want to work for your money. You just want shit given to you. I was like, I'll work for my money. All I'm asking you to is clean it. I'm going to go inside, get me a drink. I'll probably get you a drink. Just clean it. I'll come out, you get a drink and $2. And then you'll be able to fix your car and go home. Wow, man. No, I'm good, man. I'm all right, bro. Well, next time that man sits there and I pull up and he starts walking, trying to look for money, he sees me. He doesn't come my way because he knows I'm going to ask him to work for the damn $2. It's just simple as that. It's like, I feel bad for some of the homeless people, but at the same time, it's just like.
That sounds terrible, though. It
does sound terrible. It's real close to that grumpy old man opinion of like homeless people just don't want to work hard, and that's why they're homeless. They just don't want to work.
No, they're on some shit, and they don't want to. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not giving people my money. I got a hard time.
Somebody asked for more money. Sing me a song. Mary had a little lamb.
Entertain me, bitch.
Nah, or you could just hit the reverse and be like, yo, before they pull up, you be like, yo, you got $1? I need $1. I'm trying to put some gas in my car. They'll be tight. They'll turn around real quick and just be tight.
Who's the youngest? Bro. Who's the youngest one out of the three of y'all? Is it Pucho?
Doughboy.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Isn't Doughboy younger than you?
Nope. I'm the youngest.
Damn, guys, I thought you was.
How is Tony somehow the oldest, grumpiest man on this podcast, even though he's not the oldest here?
I'm not oldest, and I'm not the grumpiest.
That's that technique for getting the homeless people to stop bugging you. I'm pretty sure I've seen my great grandpa pull that exact thing.
It works. Like, why not use something that works? If it works,
here's the question. If you gave him, say, $100 to do it, do you think he would have done it?
I think it's more increase of money, he would have probably done it. But I only had $2, so I couldn't give him more money.
Now, my follow-up question is, do you think $2 was a fair like payment for the labor you're asking them to do?
Oh yeah, just week, and that's it. And you get a drink because I was gonna go outside and get a drink. Like, that's a win in my book. You're gonna be hydrated to fix your car with $2 that you're asking for, and you get to go home.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a big fan. He doesn't have a fucking car. That's just one of his fucking excuses.
In Austin, I'm a big fan of, like, I keep bottles of water in my car. Like, I used to keep like chips and snacks and things like that. Like, yeah, I'd keep that because, like, I feel like that's more important during, like, the middle of the fucking summer. Some dude that's sitting on the corner, like, asking for money. It's like, here, dude, have some water. I don't carry cash on me, but have some water, have some chips.
My sister gave a homeless man food. That nigga threw it back at her. Said, I didn't ask you for food. I asked you for money.
But
yo, I've had many people. I've seen that so many times on the train, and they'll ask, "Give me water, give me food," and then a black dude will take the water out. He gave it to him, and then he looked at him. I don't want that shit, nigga. And he kept moving. Like, yo, the black kid got so tight. Yo, he was so upset, bro.
And that's why they don't want to help. That's why some bums, some homeless people ruin it for the rest of the homeless people. And when people actually try to go and help them, they'll be like, nah, that guy Jack from A-Train just straight threw a sandwich back at me. Fuck these people. I ain't helping them.
I think the ones that are more like not mentally ill are worse than the ones who are mentally ill because they got a scheme going.
Yeah, I'm not into the whole homeless thing, especially the homeless people that come up to you at the gas stations and stuff. Shit is too aggressive. Like,
way too aggressive.
Like, I already have to like fucking avert eye contact, or else you're gonna run to my window and like force me to fucking give you money and shit. And this shit could sound terrible, you know what I'm saying? I understand people out there, it's hard times and all that shit. But it's like if I just gave a guy a couple bucks and you pull up to the next light and you got to give this guy a couple bucks and the next light and the next light. It's like, when do you stop?
That's what I was telling Doey. Like, he personally can't end the homeless situation for even one individual. I don't think any of us have the cash to be able to end the homeless situation for one individual. I've got a spare bedroom. I'm not inviting a random person into my house to get them back on their feet. I'm not that good a person. But I do try to vote for the measures that I think are going to help alleviate the issues of homelessness.
You should invite a homeless man into your house for one weekend and let them bathe and clean and sleep on that nice little fuzzy brown chair of yours.
I mean, I have let there was a snowstorm like 3 years ago, or a freeze like 3 years ago, and I did let like this group of like it was like 2 women and a guy that were like shivering outside. I let them come inside, warm up. I had just like ordered some pizza. I gave them some food. They showered, and then they took off. It was fine. I was like, it's fucking cold outside. I was like, y'all are over here cuddling. Like, they had like the tiniest blanket, and the 3 of them are trying to like keep warm in this fucking blanket. They didn't have any coats. They were just like some like, they were around my age and they were just having a hard fucking time, man. So I gave them some food. I let them get a hot shower. Some of them took a couple of them took a nap on the couch. Like, I gave them like some old coats that I had. Like, I try to help where I can, but I can't end the situation for them. I can't.
This goes back to that episode of what I'm saying. You should teach them how to build a fire. This shit right here is all clutch shit. I'm telling you, if people were taught at a young age how to just survive, like some Boy Scouts or American Scouts or whatever it's called now. You can't
go starting a fire in the middle of the fucking city.
I'm sorry, if I'm homeless, I'm going to survive the best way I can. I'm going to fucking start a little fire and fucking, like, people in New York, they do that. They got these old-ass oil bin container shits, and it's metal, and they throw shit in there, and them niggas is all bundled up, heated up nicely. Have you seen
this in person? From like 1976. Like, the world is a different fucking place now. Like, if a cop pulls up to a block and there's a fucking garbage can on fire, they're shutting the shit down. All right. One other thing, because it happened a couple minutes ago, so it's kind of a callback. But I fucking love the fact that in Tony's scenario, where he was saying how some homeless people run it for the rest of them, where one homeless guy threw a drink back into someone's face, blah, blah, blah. I love how in that scenario, he's just like, yo, I'm not helping you because Jack over on the other block threw something in my face. Like, I love the fact that in this scenario, he stopped to get the homeless guy's name just to fucking, like, I guess, report him to the other homeless people.
I gave him a name.
So he had a name tag.
No,
he had the homeless people. He had the homeless tag on, and you were just like, cool.
Jack. He had a shirt that said, "My name is Jack." He threw the drink at Tony. Tony has to speak to his supervisor. He's like, yeah, he's the next block up.
I'm just saying. It was just the name I just came up with the top of my head. Like, Jack and Jill ass motherfucker over there threw that shit at me and said, fuck the rest of y'all for the day. It sucks. Homelessness sucks. But at the same time, what are you going to do? You don't have enough money to fucking feed the whole homeless community and try to get them back up. Like, sucks, but
Y'all remember when we put homelessness as a topic on our sheet and decided that's what we're going to talk about on the first section today?
That never actually happened. This is a completely impromptu conversation. And then I love how the topic came up, and I was like, oh, that'd be a good topic. So I typed it in the chat real quick, and then Doy proceeded to force it into the conversation right now.
Yeah, he did.
I thought it was fucking awesome. And I was like, yeah, it was totally to replace the other topic, but we're going to go with the flow. Just giving you guys a little bit behind the scenes bullshit that happens around here. You know what I mean?
Behind the scenes, can I do something real quick? My autofocus is going crazy. I need to turn it off, but I'd have to okay.
I think your autofocus is fine. I haven't noticed.
Oh, no, it's terrible. If I do any...
Just don't do that. Just don't do any hand movements. Sit there still. You look fine.
Shit, look, I love how he's trying to get her to fuck up, and it's perfect.
I don't see anything happening. I see him shaking the desk with some of his gyrations.
This man's gonna break his shit. Keep playing. You're gonna bust your ass.
All right, Tony, get us the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyways,
back to a strange place.
Back to fucking the intro. I had a great weekend. I saw my boy Pooch. Did a couple things.
Going to the intro.
Back,
That's unexpected.
I thought we were going to Nintendo.
I had to break it off before we go to Nintendo. I just wanted to say what I felt good about because y'all was bringing it down with these Debbie Downer homeless shit, and I was, bring it back. Everybody's laughing now, but yeah, we're talking E3 again, but because Nintendo supposedly took over the show. And I'm going to pass that on because that was the title that came out of Mateo's mouth. So I'm going to let Mateo head this horse into the great road ahead.
All I've got to say is I'm here to kill chaos.
Who's chaos?
Yeah, who's that?
Oh, my God.
Chaos. That fucking that was one of the worst trailers I've ever seen in my life, dude. The gameplay looked dumb. The voice acting was awful. Did you not
see E3?
No, what trailer? I'll watch it right now.
I think it's Final Fantasy Origins is what it is.
I think so. It's something like that. It's stupid. They say the word chaos about 40,000 times in that entire trailer.
It was in the donkey video.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't watch the donkey.
Oh, that donkey video was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my favorite part were all the Twitter memes afterwards because at the end of the horrible trailer, they're like, yo, you could download this shit right now and play. So everybody went to go download it, and apparently the fucking demo had a bug where people couldn't play it. So like people were tweeting for days, like, oh, I still haven't gotten the chance to go and kill chaos. Like, it was just fucking cracking me up.
Donkey, he put the chaos emeralds from Sonic with the chaos, the chaos battle, the boss.
No, Nintendo probably had my favorite of E3 this year, honestly. That Kazuya reveal for Smash Bros. That was kind of cool. That video cracked me up. Him tossing Kirby over and Kirby just flying away in the background, just him tossing everyone's body over the edge. Loved it. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I thought that was fucking ridiculous. Like he just kept talking, because what Tekken was that in? That might have been Tekken 1 or Tekken 2.
I think it was like Tekken 1 or 2.
Right, where someone gets thrown off. I think it's Heihachi throws Kazuya off, right?
Yeah, Heihachi tosses Kazuya off after he kicks the shit out of him.
And I think in Tekken 2, Kazuya tosses Jin off the mountain, his son. But yeah, that family's all kind of fucked. But that shit was stupid. He tossed every fucking character off the ledge. It just looks fucking hilarious. Like, Yeah, at first it looked like they were going super serious, but then you realize, oh, this is comedy. It's kind of funny.
I hope they bring Heihachi in too. Heihachi's a fun character.
Yeah, I mean, Tekken's pretty cool with crossing their characters into other games.
They've done it.
I don't remember what other game it was, but the one that comes to mind on the PS2 specifically, they had the Soul Calibur, one of 3 maybe or 2, I don't know, and they had Heihachi in the game, and that one is actually kind of cool because on every console they had a different.
There was a different, yeah. That's the one that had there was a Star Wars character, I think Yoda or something, and Darth Vader,
something like that, Darth Vader or something like that. Yeah.
I know for sure Xbox had Spawn, PS2 had Heihachi, and I don't remember what it was.
GameCube had
Nintendo.
Link. GameCube had Link.
That's fire.
Oh, the Xbox did have Spawn. What a weird choice.
Yeah.
You know,
cool.
I went back and watched some of those like 90s episodes of the Spawn animated series, and that show sucks, man. It does not hold up. It's not as good as I remembered it being.
Yeah. I never liked Spawn too much.
Not gonna lie. That Super Monkey Ball, I'm kind of stoked about that. Like I had a lot of love for those stupid games way back when, so like I'm slightly excited about that.
Yeah, those Super Monkey Ball games, they kind of remind me of like the Katamari Damacy games where you're just like rolling around and shit. And yeah, there's like a racing game in the Super Monkey Ball. Like I'm not too into that stuff, but I liked all the other levels where you're just kind of rolling around trying to solve puzzles or like collect items and things like that.
See, we always did the multiplayer one where you would have like all the mini games you would compete with. So there was like the one you would like roll down the hill and then you turn into the glider and you try to like land on like the bullseye and get the most points. It was like shuffleboard, but with the I've got a lot of love for those games. I'm kind of excited about that. Yeah, that'll be a fun little like couch co-op.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing out of Nintendo's E3 that was very good for me was one of my asks happened. I got a 2D Metroid, you know.
I just watched this clip from the like our E3 video recently because I was doing some of the timestamp stuff and whatnot, and like you called out a lot of the shit they actually revealed at the Nintendo E3. That 2D Metroid was one of them. You were like, there's a rumor that's going to be announced.
But I heard that's not the actual Metroid 4 that they announced in 2017.
It's not. There's going to be it's the 2D Metroid, and there's also going to be like a full on like the Metroid 4 sequel or whatever.
Yeah, I thought they actually showed a trailer for Metroid Prime at E3.
I thought they did.
I thought it was called Metro Ether or Dark. What the fuck was that shit?
But they announced Metroid 4.
Dread, thank you. Dread.
Yeah. They announced Metroid 4 in 2017, and then they ended up releasing information on a game that's not the game that they you know what I mean? So it's weird that they did that.
Really?
But yeah, I was a little disappointed in the Breath of the Wild stuff too. Like I wanted more out of it.
Very underwhelming.
You're talking about the sequel that they're trying to make, and then plus like a added, like, isn't it a sequel and then there's like another whole game, right? It was like two.
Well, they're doing a remake of Skyward Sword, I think.
Oh, that's a remake.
Yeah, they're doing a remake of Skyward Sword, which I heard Skyward Sword was kind of weak. I never played that one.
Dicks. That shit is for dicks.
And then there's the Breath of the Wild 2 game that's coming out that they said they're not releasing the name yet because the name would give too many hints about what the game is going to be about.
Yeah, right now, the one of the theories on Twitter is that you're gonna be playing as Ganondorf.
Like a young Ganondorf?
Like pre-corruption or something?
Well, no.
Or as he gets corrupted. That'll be nice to see how he got corrupted.
Yeah, it's something about the what they're saying on Twitter is like Link is going to be helping Ganondorf to like break the cycle that he's always the guy who's corrupted or something.
Shit.
So it'll look like you're playing a hero, but it turns out that hero all along was the Ganondorf, like, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, like Breath of the Wild takes place like many generations after like Ocarina of Time, for example, right?
And there's going to be some time. There's going to be some time fuckery.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like I remember I was reading some article and they were like, we think there might be time manipulation in this game, and like you watch the trailer, it's like obviously there is. They even like reversed audio at one part, and like it's like obviously it's like time travel, time manipulation is going to be a big part of this game.
Yep, 100%.
And it's not like the the Link, the Zelda series hasn't done that before.
Didn't they also announce Mario Party? The Superstar shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's new Mario Party.
It looks
I like
good.
Mario Party. That's a great co-op, a couch co-op that you can have with your friends. See, this is the problem. Like now, because of COVID, so this couch co-op shit's kind of like not there. But I've always liked the Mario Party shit. Like everybody, you know, you can make it into a drinking game. Oh, I'm gonna take a shot every time this person loses or some stupid shit. And you end up
that's the best way to do it because, like, man, the Mario Party the Mario Party mini games are so hit or miss. Like some of them are just suck. Some of them suck. Some of them are just straight random chance.
Yeah.
So, but if you turn it into a drinking game, it's like, well, fuck it, whatever. Like, it's just I just got to take a shot now.
You could be like fucking like Chris and Everett. A side note, they had a drinking game where they were watching Batman. Every time they said Batman, you take a shot. Every time they said Joker, you take a shot. So within like the first like 15 minutes of they're wasted. They like, I was just shocked. I'm like, yo, what fucking game?
Let's do a quick no discussion. Just give an answer. I got a complete side topic real quick. You'll start with Doey. I want to know everyone's favorite Batman. Like actor that played Batman in live action. Who is your Batman, Doey?
I mean, from childhood or just like their favorite
just
of all time?
Who's your favorite all time Batman?
I would have to say like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Okay, so Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Tony?
I like Ben Affleck.
Bucho?
I'm a Keaton guy.
Keaton all day.
Yeah, Keaton's good.
Keaton's was good, man.
I think
Jack
Ben
Nicholson
Affleck does a good job.
He was good. He was surprisingly good, honestly.
I think he does a good job. I do like Doughboy's pick as well. It's just the voice was just too much for me. For him,
the voice is over the top.
Extra hard. Like it was just like he was putting that extra and everything.
At least Affleck had like a full on like voice modulation thing that was like
pretty fucking good. I like him.
I didn't realize the Cruising series was still around. When they announced that new like Cruising game, did you not see that? Do you remember that Cruising series, Cruising USA?
No way. I used to love those games. They used to get major rentals at my local Blockbuster.
There's a new one coming out. There's a game called Cruising Blast coming out for the fucking Switch. So apparently that series is still around.
Damn, Doe, you should have never sold that Switch.
I'll get the new one when it comes out.
Yo, me and Flat used to play because we had both Cruising USA and Cruising the World. It was two. They were like the two cruising games that I remember on the N64, and those games were fire, dude. Like it was just a fucking run in the mill, basic, boring ass racing game, but they added some interesting wrinkles. Like you'd beat the game. I don't remember if it was like if you every time you beat the game with a car, you unlocked like a better variant of that car. But I remember like there was like a yellow school bus that you could drive, and then you could like unlock a gray school bus or like a prison bus or something. You could get a cop car. Those are the only two vehicles that I could remember right now.
That's so wild. Like I'm looking at the video. That shit looks.
I'm watching it too.
Yeah, the new entry in the Cruising series. I would have taken a new Burnout game.
Oh man, I can't wait. But the people who are making Burnout, they have this other game called, and it's not that good. It's like Danger Zone or something like that.
Danger Zone.
Yeah, they tried to reboot the Burnout series. A bunch of people
I think I know
from them. They went to like this. They made their own production studio, and they tried to like make it was more in like the Crash. Remember the Crash shit? You could do like there's like a sequence. You'd got to get the biggest multiplier in this area. Like they tried to do that. It didn't really work out too well.
That sucks because that was the best part of those Burnout games.
Yeah.
I never got into those Burnout games. Though I used to like them. Though I used to play it a bunch.
You don't like racing games like that?
I used to when I was younger, and as I've gotten older,
it's really difficult for certain people to play racing games. Like you really got to be agile with the sticks.
I liked Gran Turismo a lot, but then I tried playing online, and I am apparently garbage at that game. Those people that play Gran Turismo online are real fucking good.
You would suck. I would suck. I'm telling you, that shit is a different world of fucking racers. That's some real even Forza. I tried Forza, and that shit is so in depth.
I think I got clowned on online for being in like automatic mode and being the only person in automatic mode playing Gran Turismo on the server.
That's a big no. You're at a disadvantage if you're automatic. You're at a disadvantage. It's just
the new Forza looks really good.
I've never played a single one of the Forza games.
It's the one racing game I've wanted to play, but I've never had an Xbox, so I've just never played it. But I've always wanted to.
Forza looks so beautiful, bro. It's that racing game is beautiful. It's
by the way, I don't like simulated racing games. I find them really boring.
No, because it's difficult. That's
like
not
the super like hardcore ones.
Forza's a hardcore simulator, bro. That shit is fucking difficult. You can change the tuning. Sorry, though. You can tune the car just like in real life. You can shift the gears when you can bro, it's fucking it's just too much. It's overwhelming. Like if you like simulated racing games, Forza, Gran Turismo, those are the games you should get. But now they got the Forza New Horizon, which is a little bit more arcade-ish and it doesn't take too much to tune. That's also fun. But still, that bitch is...
I don't think anything with too much of a realistic aspect is fun. Like milsims, that military sims, like PUBG. Ugh.
PUBG is not real.
What about Flight Simulator? Because one of my favorite things in the world with like the old school Flight Simulator was to just sit around and drink and just like take off from like the Austin airport and just fly around the country and just drink and fly, like a real pilot.
I've seen
I didn't think about it. I should definitely download that. My computer could run that.
I do want to get that new flight sim. I'd like it.
Yeah.
I think
it's multiplayer too, isn't it?
I don't see the fun in that shit.
I'm not too sure, but that would be cool. Bro, it's like Snow Runners. Have you ever played the Snow Runners game? It's just kind of like that.
That shit is trash.
Snow Runners and Mud Runner is so much fun. Those games are so much fun, dude.
You never got
I didn't know
to
you were
play
into this, Mateo. Maybe we all need to play this shit together. Me and Doey,
that shit never
Pandemic
worked.
got us doing weird shit like playing Monopoly online. Strange.
Facts.
Fucking one of those strange moments was playing Mud Runners or Snow Runners.
Snow Runner.
And holy fuck.
Those
Me and
games are
Doey
fun,
put
dude.
like 100 hours onto that shit.
That game was trash.
And I was playing that shit by myself. I was hauling shit all over the Michigan. It was good times.
You know what? We got to get going because I just picked it up this week. GTFO.
Oh, I have that.
That's a fun game.
That game is fucking hard, dude. The only reason I passed the first mission is because there was this British dude that was like, he had played the game so much and he was just telling all of us what to do. Like,
coaching y'all.
He's like, no. He's like, you gotta crouch. He's like, you don't want to shine your light on them or they'll attack you. He's like, they start turning red, stop moving. Everyone just stop moving. And they're like, dude, he's like, they're coming through this door specifically. Once we set off this, like he was that dude was clutch. Big shout out to I think his name was like Jag 1000 UK or something. Big shout out to that guy.
Yeah, GTFO is pretty cool. I only played it once and I played with people who actually try to help me. One dude was just doing it all without seeing anything, and then the other guy was just explaining everything. I'm like, yo, you guys in a party together? He's like, yeah, he just doesn't have time to explain shit, so I just do all the explaining for him. I'm like, oh, I get it. But yeah, crouching and moving quietly in that game is key.
It's the Tony of their group. Look at that.
I did.
The fuck does that mean? Y'all laughing? What the fuck does that mean? The Tony of the group.
It's they have a Tony in their group, a person who doesn't want to contribute or like do anything. I'm joking though. It's a joke.
Ooh.
And length, it just sounds worse because I have to like explain it. But like
I contribute by winning the game for us. It's a fucking difference. The only contribution you do here is you steal people's loot and then give them your shits. That's the only contribution you do here. And then you play this victim. Why me, guys? Why you? Like, no, fuck out of here. I contribute by fucking slaying. All right?
Tony, I appreciate you making that weird face away from the mic. That was good.
That's subconsciously I wasn't even thinking about it, but I hope you cut that shit out and save it. But still, it's just like, bro, like I get it, right? There's certain games where it's just difficult to explain why you're doing it. You know what I mean? It's just like you can't explain certain shit that should be common to you. But it's a new game. I get it. Like, people don't want to waste their time on noobs. But still, it's just like, at least one guy was down to explain shit. Because I had an important part. I picked up a key or some shit. Buddy was looking for it. Buddy was going crazy. And a guy came back in the chat. I was like, hey, do you have something in your inventory? I was like, how do you do that? He was like, oh, here, do this. I was like, oh, yeah, I got this. He was like, oh, my God, my friend was literally fucking screaming his head off looking for this key, and you had it the whole time. And then his friend got in the chat. He was like, bro, seriously, bro? I'm like, what? And then he was just like, you had the shit the whole fucking time I was fucking looking for it. You didn't see me jumping around? I looked at him. I'm like, you talking about the key that I have? This key right here? He's like, yeah. Okay, hold on. I go in the back room where all the animals are at and just started fucking smacking every single one of them. Got them all to chase us, and we all died. He was like, dude, you're such a dick. I'm like, yeah, I know. Fuck
so
you.
This is your 20 minutes of experience with the game.
I liked it though. I enjoyed
calling
it.
you a dick already. It's a fucking prime Tony behavior. Yeah. Let me know if we play. I'll copy it. I'll download it and shit.
You didn't buy it?
It's
Pooch?
No.
That's crazy.
When the fuck when did we agree to purchase this?
It was on sale.
Yeah, when Doughboy said, "Yo, get it's on sale."
I think it's on sale again right now. There's a new Fatal Frame coming out. We could have Doey pick that up. We could do he could do a spooky stream. We watch him play a spooky game.
What's Fatal Frame? What's that?
Fatal Frame. It's like a spooky game series. I think it has to do with taking pictures or something.
Yeah, something to do
I'm
with
down.
the camera. No, I'm definitely with it.
WarioWare, Advance Wars, like they announced a lot of shit at this.
The
Nintendo
Advance
E3
stuff was cool.
Mario Wares? What did you say?
WarioWare.
Wario.
Wario.
Yeah, Wario has this really weird. How about fuck WarioWare? Okay.
I never played them. Some people love those fucking games, man.
They're okay. It's fucking weird, dude. You just be like, oh, let me play, and then it's just a series of mini games that are just so strange. It'll be like, oh, erase this guy's his eyebrows, and you like erase it, and it's like, yeah, you win, and then it pulls up another mini game. It's like, oh, don't let the car run off the road, and it'll just be doing random shit, and you got to kind of keep it in the middle, and there's like, yeah, you win, and then it would just do this. It's like the ultimate, like, this is like what you would expect in like the futuristic type of like people are addicted to like video game shit. It's like that. It's like an endless hit of like you keep succeeding. It feels really strange. I don't know.
I was gonna say that sounds like ADHD the game.
Right. Fucking, I loved Wario Land on the Game Boy. I don't know if y'all got to play that back in the day. It was fire.
I played it. I don't know. It was difficult for me for some reason.
It was so fucking dope, man. It had like cool end game type of stuff, good replayability. You're playing as Wario. It's nothing like a Mario game. And you know, Wario plays very different, and it was just such a cool game to me, and it's just a shame that they don't remake something like that or make another sequel or whatever.
So is Wario evil Mario, or is he like is it like Bizarro World like Mario? Like where does he fall into the Mushroom Kingdom alignment?
It's more Bizarro World. I think in the beginning, I think he's supposed to be like evil Mario, but it's more Bizarro World because he's not really like a villain in any sense.
Yeah, he's always fucking up too. He's such a klutz. You know what game I'm happy about? The Mario versus Rabbids, the new John. That's just good.
You played the shit out of that game, dude.
I beat that one. I beat the Donkey Kong expansion. I really love that Mario Rabbids game. Once again, not your normal Mario game, and it ended up working well.
Yeah, you love games like that though. Like you and XCOM, the amount of times you told me to play XCOM is just off the charts. I don't even know how many times.
I do not like XCOM at all.
Or those random screenshots that Doey would send us from XCOM where he's like, I'm sorry, Pucho, but you died. I tried to save you and I couldn't.
I was like, I don't fucking give a fuck. What is it? I'm really depressed, man. I'm like, oh, what's going on, Doey? Tony died yesterday in XCOM. I was like,
I felt like I was always
Iron Man
dying.
mode, and it's just so hard, you know.
You were always any sniper because you at the beginning you get 4 classes. Anytime I'd get a sniper, I'd always name him after Tony. A guy, he'd always be my sniper. Pucho was the guy with the shotgun. Mateo was my assault.
I mean, I do have the best aim, Tony, right?
Allegedly. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like Nintendo had a good showing, and I wanted more out of Breath of the Wild 2 when they showed it. But I am excited about Metroid Dread. I am excited about Mario Party, especially if it has online that we could play this shit online. That'd be really fun. And yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to some of these games coming out.
I like
Even though I don't think that the Xbox, like the other conferences, were very good. Just seeing the lineup that Xbox has, not even that they're very, they don't really appeal to me necessarily, but knowing that now that Bethesda is owned by Microsoft, the next Fallout, the next Elder Scrolls, those games are only coming to Xbox. Like Starfield looks interesting, even though they didn't show anything. Like, I'll probably end up picking up an Xbox at some point, depending on if those games go to Game Pass. If they don't go to Game Pass, I'll probably just buy it on PC and never get an Xbox. But
that's funny.
That's about where I'm at. Like, these games are all going to come to PC, so I'm not even worried about them not being on PlayStation.
Yeah.
One more point about the Nintendo E3. The fucking pacing, like that, it was just like there was no bullshit. There was no filler in the Nintendo E3. It was just boom, here's a trailer, boom, here's a trailer, boom, here's a trailer. They're like, that was my favorite part of their entire presentation. It's just there's no bullshit, there's no filler. It was just like, here's all the shit that's coming out. Y'all are gonna buy it because you will eat up anything that we release. We're Nintendo. Peace. And then they dropped the mic and they left.
Yep. I love that shit. Sony does that shit all the time. And anytime I watch other conferences, I fucking cringe so fucking hard. They announce a game and then they pull like one of the lead directors onto a stage and then he starts talking. Oh yeah, my game, it's about immersion. It's about this. We're building. It's like, shut the fuck up. Show me the game. Show me gameplay and get the fuck off. Like, I don't want to hear you talk about it. I'm not into this shit.
Xbox loves that shit. They live for the whole introduction of every game with the dicks.
Like, who the fuck on planet Earth has ever seen like a gameplay trailer for a game, and then right after they saw the guy talking on stage, and then that's when they got fucking hyped for the game? Like, that person's an alien. It's probably Tony. I was just happy that Nintendo was just machine gun in trailers. They did have little segments where they'll pop back to a guy and he's like, "Yep, that's just an upcoming look on that game," and blah blah blah. And then they'd cut to the next one. I'm like, even that's unnecessary. Like, I just want to see trailers, dates. Like, I don't want to see nothing else.
I think some of it was them like apologizing for not showing like. Because like I think they mentioned like the Metroid Prime 4, whatever the fuck that game's gonna be called. They're like, we don't have any new information that we're ready to share yet. But here's something else.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's nice of them.
But yeah, favorite conference just for that. The favorite part of the conference was just for how quick like they just the amount of the volume of like what they pushed out and just the speed at pushing it out to you. It was good stuff.
There's this BioShock Fallout game coming out for Xbox. It's some Russian made game. I forgot what it's called. Atomic something.
I don't think I saw that one.
Something. It's cool.
Atomic Heart, Atomic Punch, Atomic. I don't know. Anyways, while Dory looks that up, I was gonna say that I thought Nintendo stole the show. I did find now I'm just throwing shade at someone, another company. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch the Square conference.
No.
I love when they were announcing that they're re-releasing Final Fantasy 1 through 6, which some of these games are already on a bunch of platforms that aren't really around anymore, so it's like a little harder to play. But I was excited. I was like, oh cool, like I could play like Final Fantasy 5, which is like a one that's like it's only in Japan. It's basically you got to play on an emulator in order to play this shit. So I was excited, and then that shit's like mobile only. So like they're re-releasing those games only for mobile, and they're calling them pixel remasters. Like, what the fuck is a pixel remaster?
Why do people love remastered shit?
Well, because some of these games are hard. Like he said, they're hard to play. Like you have to install an emulator. You have to find a legal ROM for Final Fantasy 1 at this point, or you just have to have it be able to find the physical cartridge and have a Nintendo that will actually still play that shit. Like these games they're getting harder to play.
Doe still has a plastic wrapped Final Fantasy 1.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I've got one, but it is definitely not plastic wrapped. I think that I've got the book with it though.
It comes with the book.
Is there a reason? Right. Side note. Right. Is there a reason why there's a whole bunch of Kojima tweets going on?
I wanted
right
to get into that. And
oh, that's a whole thing that's going on.
That's a fucking rabbit hole.
What happened?
I have no idea. I'm literally earlier today. I was going down my timeline, and it's Godjima or Kojima or Silent Hill PT Kojima. It's just like, what is going on? What's the story behind this whole?
So let me take you back to the year. I think it was 2013. Maybe it was 2014. And there was a little known company called Moby Dick Studios. And they were showing off gameplay and showing trailers for their game that was upcoming called Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how the genre and all the the showing off gameplay and how it plays and all this stuff. And people were like, this Moby Dick Studios thing, it's a little weird. Like before this game post, there's only been one other thing about a guy getting like a head transplant or something like that. And they were like, well, that's fucking strange. They were like, this guy, this one character, he kind of moves like Snake moves in a game. And there's like little hints like that. And they were like all these little like things that they were tweeting and saying that were just reminiscent of Metal Gear and things like that. And then it turns out, I don't even remember, this is kind of a shame, I don't even remember how this got ultimately revealed, but ultimately we found out that Moby Dick Studios was just a front, and it was just Kojima just kind of trolling the internet. And really what this fake studio was showing us was Metal Gear Solid 5. That was like the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So just some background in showing that this has happened from this guy before. Fast forward to around the Summer Games thing, this little known company got tweeted by I forgot, Geoff Keighley, is that a guy's name?
Yeah.
Just saying that they're coming out with this game, Abandoned, I think it's what it's called. And the company's called Blue Box Studios or something. And again, it just gave those real Moby Dick vibes. And some of the things they were saying were basically sounded like they were making a Silent Hills game. Like, and then they just tweeted a bunch of things here and there that basically the whole internet is now 100% on board with. This is Kojima fucking with us somehow. And they're playing like a game. I even forgot what it's called, but an ARG, is it augmented reality or something like that?
Yeah.
Basically, they're just leaving clues for people to find and figure out like stuff. Like they're just like, yo, our name Blue is not about the color blue. It stands for something else. The first person to guess it, we're gonna send you all the information about our upcoming game. And things like that. And so like, I don't know if you saw the other day, I tweeted, I was like, 5 minutes remaining. Like, I'm fucking looking forward to figuring this out. Like, Blue standard for some bullshit. Like, just total nonsense. It was so fucking stupid. I don't even remember what it stood for.
I just saw on Twitter, Konami and Hideo Kojima are following each other on Twitter again. Recently, my God. 20 hours ago.
Think another Metal Gear dropping?
It's going to be a Silent Hill game is what everyone is claiming.
It has to be Silent Hill, bro.
Remember the PT thing that they dropped a long time ago? That shit was fucking scary as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make some money selling a PS4 that has PT installed on it. Like, because they pulled that shit from the store. I remember people were selling their PlayStations for like $2,000 because it had PT still installed, so you could still play that stupid game. Like, you get real weird about stuff like that.
I had PT installed on my system up until I gave the system to my nephew.
It would still be in there though. You could still download it, can't you? Once you,
I don't think you can re-download it once it gets deleted.
Nope. Once it's deleted, you cannot read. Yep, you can't delete it. You can't download
just
it.
like Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk's actually coming back to the stores, I think tomorrow.
I saw that.
I got it and it was buggy, and so I just wanted to wait. And so I only played the first few hours of the game. It was fun.
I got my 3070 Ti now, so like maybe it's time for me to go and buy Cyberpunk, especially when it drops down like $30 on Steam. Could be time.
I was trying to play Red Dead 2 with my 2070, and man, that game takes a lot of graphical power to like play it on max settings.
My old card sounded like an airplane taking off whenever I would load up Red Dead Online.
Sounds like Doughboy shit. Doughboy had his old PS5 or old PS4 that did that shit. It was like a fucking vacuum cleaner, and she would just.
When we play Overwatch, my PS4 sounds like it's about to just go down the runway and just fly off into nowhere.
Well, even though that Kojima and them are dropping this fucking Dika Silent Hill game, do you think that the Switch in like maybe 4 or 5 years will still be around? You think people will still want to play it? Like the system itself. Like, I mean, they're upgrading into this new type of better enhanced visuals and lighter and whatever, but like, do you see Nintendo like just still making handheld consoles?
What is the Nintendo what is their normal like time frame on generations? Because theirs is different than the other ones. Like PlayStation and Xbox are pretty like regular. They're
2-3 years.
I think it's like 5 or 6, right?
Yeah, it's
Nintendo's
like 6 to 7.
And Nintendo be all over the place. They don't even release like Xbox and PlayStation. You bet your ass. Like for the last couple generations and probably for the foreseeable future, they're both going to be releasing consoles in the same year every time. Like
for competition.
But Nintendo don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd imagine that the Switch came out after PS4 and Xbox One. Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be around longer than those consoles were. I'd imagine Nintendo's generations are going to be a bit longer. And then to Tony's question about were they going to keep making handhelds, is this even their handheld?
Yeah, it's a handheld that has a capability of being like a console, put it on TV.
I'm saying they're still pushing like the 3D, like with the one of the DSs, right?
It's got discontinued like this year or last year.
Yeah.
So you think that okay?
I just think it's going to be the Switch and the Switch Lite type thing, handheld, and then you can be able to play it on a TV.
You got to think about it.
So is your question, Tony? Like, is your question? Are they going to push out a new like actual like budget handheld?
Like, is it like in the next 2 years?
Because the Switch Lite was kind of that budget handheld, right? Like that thing was $200 or some shit like that.
Yep.
Yeah, but I like for that budget light Nintendo Switch shit, like that. I heard that it's not really the battery on it's like shit. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not as good. As much as they said the video quality on the games will look good, they said it's not as good as the original Switch. So it's just like, why buy a budgeter fucking thing if you're not getting the full power or the longevity of the battery life? You know what I mean? Like, cool, yeah, it's cheaper so everyone can have it, but I'm good. Like,
that's why I didn't buy that bullshit.
I think in theory, eventually the price on the Switch comes down a little bit. I think with the kind of games that Nintendo pushes out, like their first, because most of Nintendo's like big games are their first party, like what a series. Like, you know, they've got Zelda, they got Mario, they have so many like just in-house like talent that they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
I would love to see
like,
Sony.
Do you think that like a Mario game on the PlayStation 4 would be that much better? Or not the PlayStation, on the PlayStation 5, let's say even PlayStation 4, whatever, would be that much better than Mario on the Switch?
Yes. I think if you put Zelda on the PS5, it would look fucking phenomenal.
I wish.
Do you think the graphics, though, is why people play the Zelda games or anything like that? Like, I mean, yeah.
The graphics look good on the Switch, though.
with the shit that you've told me about, like the PlayStation 5 controller, like I think they could do some cool things with the Mario games, like with the different worlds you're running through and shit like that, right? But is that taken away from the Mario experience by them not pushing stronger hardware and not being able to push those graphics and that level of haptic feedback and whatnot on their games?
Yes, I think it takes away from them. I think that if for some in an alternate universe, right? Fucking PlayStation or Sony and Nintendo join houses, the amount of fucking revenue that Nintendo and Sony can just fucking, bro, they would wipe out Xbox, mind you. They would just destroy them, because I can only imagine with the DualSense controller with Zelda or Mario or fucking or Smash Bros being on a PS5. Could you imagine playing Smash Bros on a PS5? Like, how fucking that alone, there's still competitions out there right now where people are going hard playing fucking Smash Bros on a Nintendo GameCube or the fucking, you know what I mean? So it's just, to me, that it won't never happen. But if that would be an Xbox killer, no one would buy an Xbox no more. I'm telling, no one. It would be done. Like, we already have the best exclusives. Sony already has the best exclusives. Mind you, now you get Zelda or mother of all Mother Mario games series now. It's like,
I think mother of all Mother Mario games.
Yo, Mario's been around for the longest, bro.
You're definitely right, because like I'd forgotten just how pretty Breath of the Wild is, and Breath of the Wild would look 10 times, like it would look so much more gorgeous on like a PlayStation 5 or something, right? Like that's absolutely. But I don't think that Super Mario Odyssey you're going to see that much graphical improvement that's actually going to enhance the game that much if Nintendo was pushing stronger hardware, you know?
I don't know. Maybe Nintendo.
Go ahead, Tony.
I was gonna say maybe Nintendo drops their own console and it's gonna be fucking amazing, but I don't see them making money even if they do. Let's say they do drop a console and it's capable of like being like Xbox and PlayStation fucking capabilities, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't think a lot of people would jump on that.
I mean, the Switch Pro is rumored to be 4K output, and I'm surprised they didn't actually show anything from that at their E3.
It's supposed to be like $400 too. It's supposed to be like more expensive,
and it's a handheld, right?
Yeah, but it's supposed to like be pretty hefty.
I don't know. I think they should join houses.
What were you saying?
What you want exactly? Nintendo already is with Xbox.
What?
Yeah, Nintendo is working with Xbox.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
On what?
I mean, they've been for a while.
On what though?
To what?
I mean, I've heard constantly that Nintendo's working with Xbox, and like they are. I'm almost 100% sure. Let me go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Doughboys going deep into his own hole and trying to backpedal now. But he says fuck it, and he goes all in on his cards, and he hears these little, it's like Facebook news. Doughboy is one of those people who believe in Facebook. This is what that is.
Microsoft and Nintendo are continuing to work in partnership with one another, breaking down the barriers that separate them. Soon, Microsoft announced that Xbox Live would come to the Switch console through individual games that could use the service to connect online players and unlock achievements. Boom. Shut up.
Says nothing. That says
Shut
nothing.
Up, Tony.
That says nothing.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how this plays out. But yeah, I was gonna say that Nintendo already botched this. Back in 1990 something, Sony was trying to get into the console game. They reached out to Nintendo and they partnered up to create the Nintendo PlayStation.
Yep.
And then basically Nintendo fucked up the negotiation somehow. And Sony said, you know what? We're going to make our own shit. And that's literally how PlayStation got birthed, was by Nintendo botching a deal.
Because Sony. I think it was because of money. Like, it was money or some type of... Damn. That's crazy. I don't think Sony will ever... Maybe, I don't know, bro. They said that this is the last Xbox too, so we'll see. This is
maybe they saved themselves, because that Sony, that Nintendo PlayStation, if it's the one I'm thinking of, I think I've seen the prototype of that one. It looked a little bit like the Sega Genesis, when you had the Sega CD on it and 32X and like all the different like transformer modes. It looked a little bit like that.
Yeah, it gave off those vibes.
I like the Genesis. Not gonna lie.
I was a Genesis. We played a lot of Sega in my household.
We played almost no Sega.
Guys had a sad childhood.
Wow. Okay. I had a Super Nintendo too and a 64.
Which I'm gonna tell you, you got to go back and play the game Kid Chameleon.
I thought you were gonna say I needed to play. What is it? Alex Kidd? Kid Alex and the Enchanted
Don't play any of the
Cat.
Alex Kidd games. Those games are not great.
Yeah, I used to love that game when I was a kid, dude, and they were not good. But it's something about just being a kid walking around and then transforming into an airplane or into a motorcycle and then going into these fucking weird rooms and playing rock, paper, scissors with gorillas and stuff. That game was fucking insane. It's as insane as it sounds, Tony. Like me explaining it and you being like, "What the fuck's he talking about?" That's how crazy that game was playing back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's fucking wild. Also, I think are we done with that Nintendo E3?
Yeah, unless we want to talk about the games from the Wholesome Games Direct.
Nah, shit is for dicks. A lot of dick shit going on around here. New York City, Doughboy. I heard that y'all boys is popping it off. It's a hot boy summer for real in New York City. You guys are out there shooting it up the blocks with mad AKs and pistols and shit. As someone who lives in New York City, can you tell me what it is to walk around all day worrying about you getting shot?
I don't think it's that bad. I think the news, especially around election time, does a very good job at especially sensationalizing the murders and stuff like that. I do believe that maybe crime's getting worse in New York, and there's definitely what I was saying earlier with the subways, people getting stabbed and people getting pushed onto the tracks, that becoming a more normal thing. You got homelessness and mental illness, and
that
then
to me
just
is
straight
wild.
up,
that's normal
straight up
to you.
Yeah, it's just straight up gang activities and really just happened this week, a few days ago, a hitman trying to shoot his target. The target fell on top of some kids and the guy just kept shooting.
That was in New York?
That was in New York.
I saw that on World Latin Star. Buddy just started blasting, bro. Why y'all
the
laughing?
kids.
That's where I saw
That's
that.
just a funny for the people listening. World Latin Star is a play on another website called World Star, where just a bunch of random shit gets posted that happens in the hood and shit that people in the hood are interested in. And then World Latin Star is basically the same thing, except they post a lot of women shaking their ass to reggaeton as well. So that's how those
that's not what we're there for, though. We're not there for that. We're there for the intel.
He reads the articles.
Tony's there for the articles.
So yeah, you got a lot of different instances. I would say gun crime. It's up.
That's crazy. And don't y'all have a law where unless you're a store owner or you own a home, you can't have a gun?
Yeah. No, guns are still here though. You still get a lot of guns in New York, and you would be very surprised where guns are at.
This is what I tell niggas all the time, right? They'd be like, "What?
You're just wrong, but go ahead."
And this is what I tell people. This man did a preemptive strike. This is what I tell people all the time. You want to get rid of guns. People can still get guns. Whether it's legally or illegally, we can still get guns. If people in New York, let's just say that it was just like Florida, you can own and conceal carry in New York City. Motherfuckers ain't shooting people like that out there like that. It just won't happen. People getting stabbed on the subway and people watching and getting away because they don't have a gun to help. That shit ain't sliding, bro. If a motherfucker is stabbing somebody, a victim in front of me, I'm blasting this motherfucker, bro.
You think that in a city that's already dealing with gun crime, you think that the answer is to put 9 million guns in the city? That's what you think? 9 million guns, just everybody have a gun. Hey, here, have you turned 10? Gun safety.
People would think twice about coming out here trying to shoot niggas and rob niggas, I'll tell you that much.
Tony, I've got a question for you. With the coronavirus pandemic that went through last year, do you think that we could have solved coronavirus faster if instead of developing a vaccine, we just got live samples of coronavirus and we just injected everyone in the country with it? You know, we solved the problem by giving more of the problem to everyone.
Herd immunity. A lot of people were saying that. Oh, let's let everybody get sick.
Because that's what the gun thing reminds me of.
So I'm going to go down
this problem in this country. If we give everyone guns, we don't got a gun problem anymore.
I'm going to go down this hole, and as the one of the co-hosts on this podcast, I'm always the one to go down the hole where no one wants to go. That's fine. Yeah, give everybody the fucking COVID, the live sample, right? Yeah, let's do that. And then what's going to happen? Half the population is going to be gone. Mm-hmm. The other half of the population got the immunity, right? This is what your theory is saying. Yeah, let's do it then. And everybody, if you're alive, cool. Hey, yeah. No, that sounds stupid, Mateo. That's fucking retarded. Guns and COVID is two different things, my G. Like, everyone who has a gun, I'm not gonna rob somebody because I think this motherfucker might go to in Texas.
Wait, is that all that stops you from robbing someone? Is you think that dude might have a gun?
No, I'm this is an example. Like in Texas,
in Florida, so he would have been robbing everybody left and right, but because there's so many guns, he's kept in check.
In Texas, everybody out there, almost everybody out there, probably got a gun in Texas. Oh, I would say like 88% of the community out there got guns in Texas.
I don't think it's that high. I think that there's a lot of people that have multiple guns in Texas. I think Texas probably has the most guns in the country,
like ownership, right?
Yeah, like the most. It's probably the highest percentage ownership too, but I don't think it's as high as everyone makes it out to be.
Friend of the show, Adam. If you're gonna watch this, tell me if everybody had a gun in Texas, right? And some idiot wants to try to go out there and cause chaos and try to shoot somebody within 5 feet or whatever, will have a gun. It might put them down. If I'm wrong,
as a brown guy in America, here's my take on it. Let's say I'm carrying my gun, I've got it on my hip, and some dude starts some shit. He starts shooting at the store or something. I shoot this guy, take him out or whatever. I'm in the firefight with him. How the fuck are the cops that are showing up gonna realize that I am not I'm not the active shooter? Like what is okay? Yes, how does this scenario play out? Because this I've got so many questions about things like this. Because I feel like as a brown man in America carrying a gun, I'm just putting myself more at risk of getting shot by the cops.
It's going to be like in the Kingsman where everybody's killing each other in the church. It's like one guy's going to take out their gun and shoot, and everybody's going to active shooter. And they're going to start shooting that guy, but other people are going to see they took out their gun. And then everybody, everybody's going to be shooting each other left and right is exactly what will happen.
That's
Tony's high off his ass if he thinks that putting more guns in the hands of people is going to somehow make the society safer.
Yeah, that's what plays out of my head. There was a shooting in Austin recently, downtown in Austin.
Really?
And apparently, like what I heard, I haven't looked into it too much. What I heard is it was two groups of dudes, and I think it might have been gang related, it might not have been, but these two guys, like, they started shooting at each other, and not a single one of their bullets hit the other person. They just shot a bunch of fucking bystanders because that's what happens with guns. Like, the collateral damage is probably what's going to happen more than you actually. It's like when you're defending, like the concept of defending your house, right? You are more likely if you're trying to do home defense, you're more likely to injure an old member of your tribe, your family, than to actually successfily defend yourself.
I would say you're not trained properly.
Maybe not, but is there a requirement for training to own a gun in this country?
There is, and there should be a better one. There should be stricter.
There is a requirement to own a gun in this country.
Tony, I would say that I would say that the other like 2A people that have that state of mind would argue that there shouldn't be a requirement for training because it's a right. And once you start putting requirements for training, once you start putting requirements for money and certifications and things like that, it's no longer a right. It becomes a privilege.
Okay. It is a privilege to also own a gun. I'm a firm believer, right? I own a gun, multiple guns. I am also a concealed carrier. I don't think guns need to be stripped away from anybody. but I also do think there should be a little bit maybe stricter guidelines on these weapons that you can just have access to, right? Because it's really easy for Slim Dick Joe and Mary to go and get a gun. It's pretty fucking easy, right? And I think there should be a little bit more stricter guidelines or something to do it. I'm not saying, oh, without training you can't own a gun. I'm saying, no, let's if I'm already a gun owner, I want to go buy a gun. That's already I did what I had to do, whatever. But there should be some type of thing where it would help you and educate you. Not saying that, oh, if you don't get this training, you're not getting a gun. No, we're here to educate you on properly loading and using a gun, so that way you won't shoot yourself or hurt others. Like Doughboy can go to fucking Walmart or not Walmart. Used to be able to go to Walmart and buy a fucking shotgun back in the days. The shit was wild. An 18-year-old could just go and buy a fucking shotgun.
Well, I mean, he's in New York, so he can't do that anyway.
But no, yeah. But all right, in Florida, if he wanted to go buy a gun, he can go buy a gun. Just a background check and whatever. And I'm pretty sure his background check's gonna clear pretty fine. It's just like you can go and buy a gun, and then in a week or two you'll get it, and it's proven it's yours. It's just that easy. Like me, I could get it the same day because I have my license and I already did my proper things. But it's just, I think there should be for first beginners or new people getting a gun, there got to be some guidelines. There's got to be something that helps prevent stupid shit from happening.
So I had a question because you said something that I thought was completely wrong. You said that you need a license to have a gun.
No. I have a concealed carry license too.
I know you have. It sounded like earlier you're like, yeah, you already need documents or whatever to have a gun. Like
you got to do a background check and because if you was already you a felon, you can't have a gun. You will not get a gun. They will not sell you a gun. So there's checks that they do, and I think you pay for that too out of pocket, if I'm not mistaken, in some states, right, Mateo? I don't know how it is in Texas.
I believe you do. I think you do have to pay out of pocket for the background check. I know that Adam has told me that part of the problem, like that he thinks with gun control, is that there is not a something with the background checks. Like the background check systems, like they don't automatically sync up. A lot of them are still like paper trails and like there's
like they're not up to date.
Yeah, there's outdated infrastructure. Like we have the ability now where we could have these databases easily communicate with each other, but because they're interagency databases and things they're checking, there's a lot of there's a potential for misses in that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, freaking going back to New York though, where you're saying that you think if more people had guns, so I guess I don't totally disagree with your point, but I think it's too focused and too small. Like too small, not like trying to offend you, but like too small. Like the scope is too little.
Simple.
Yeah, like you're not thinking about like what you're really saying. I think, because while I don't disagree that if everybody in New York City had a gun, robberies would probably decrease. Like people would be like, all right, I'm probably not gonna just try to like rob a guy because the guy might have a gun. He might try to shoot me. You know what I'm saying? And maybe other people see him. Maybe someone will try to step in, right? Like I totally could see that logic, and someone not wanting to do those types of things. But then you're ignoring the fact that like, well, now you have all these guns in the cities, and like, what effect does that have now? Like now there's gonna be a bunch of people like, trying to steal each other's guns to like, have like guns that are now untraceable to go and commit some act with. You're going to have a whole bunch of people committing suicides with their guns. And you're going to have a hell of a lot more people injuring themselves with guns, shooting people when they shouldn't have shot people. And like, you're just going to increase all the, like the bullshit that happens when people have guns is just going to increase a lot just because you're increasing the numbers of people having guns. I think like you might solve that one problem, but if without looking holistically at how does that solution affect other things, then like you realize I personally don't think that just pumping guns into New York City is going to fix the gun problem.
I would be curious how that would play out too. Like, would we actually see less instances of like robbery and burglary, or would people just go in shooting? Like, they have guns, so it's no longer a question of, oh, they might have a gun. Let me be sneaky about this. Or would they just go in shooting? You just break someone's window, shoot them in the fucking face, and like grab shit and run. Like, would you just be like, fuck it, they got a gun?
You know what also would happen, and maybe it might be a bad idea. And this is me going against my own shit, is all these fucking dickhead cops in New York City that wears normal fucking clothes and don't properly show their fucking badge, they will get blasted real fucking quick. You know what's crazy to me? If you're a fucking cop, you need to have better uniform. New York City cops is bugged out with just wearing regular fucking trench coats and shit. By the way, I like his tank top or his tank top shirt. I don't know what that is in the back.
Yeah, that design on the back is cool. I like that design a lot.
Fortune. Stand up. What is this dick shit? His fortune teller. What's it say at the bottom?
Last call company.
That's pretty dope. All right, you're good. That's an issue to me because Doughboy told me that these New York cops, they just walk around with normal clothes and just pull up on you. If everyone owned a gun, those cops won't be doing that.
Or is it going to make the line between cops and like private citizens like even more tenuous and fractured? Because the cops claim that the reason why they shoot people and things like that is because, oh, they had a gun, we didn't know he had a gun, blah blah blah, right? If everyone's got a gun, does that mean they're going to be even more scared and more prone to shooting whenever they pull over people? You sneeze when the cops like asking for your driver's license. They're like, oh, he's going for the gun.
I mean, does that happen now? I mean, look at Florida, look at Texas, look at all these gun states. Like, does that happen now?
I mean, some would argue, yeah. A lot of people getting shot for having a cell phone or a beeper back in the day.
And that's because the cop's a dick. Because the cop is nervous and
for trained killers, like, these guys are really fucking nervous. Like, they're really scared of people. It's really strange.
We really gotta get this going with the guest-in calls or whatever. I can have it easily where I can have my phone connected to my shit and we can do a guest call. Because I really want to talk to certain people, like cops or people, to see what their views are. And obviously my cousin, is a cop. Isaac is a cop. So there are some points that he made in our last episode when we were talking about the gun thing and all that. And he said some shit too where it was on our side, but at the same time not. He agreed that turnaround by the fence that kid did, he said that shit was a little too early, but he has some views, and as a cop and as what he does day to day, it would be great to have him on the show one day and we can do this because there's a guns Tony, is simple. Everyone's nervous around a gun. Me having a gun and going to Pucho's house or his mother's house, he's already nervous with me just being in that house with a gun.
And that's just him knowing you have it somewhere on your person. What if you just had that strapped to your fucking side, like just like cowboy style?
Oh, you mean open carry?
Yeah,
that's beast. In Texas, you can
how
do that.
About Texas now is permitless carry.
Texas, that's a thing. When I like Walmart, like you could just walk around with a fucking gun on your hip, which is just wild, crazy shit to me.
Now it's permitless. Now you don't even. Before you needed like a concealed carry license to kind of do this type of stuff. Now you don't need anything. You just purchase a gun at your local gun shop, which is everywhere in Texas, and then you get your gun and you just walk around with it.
Mm-hmm. What about ARs?
It's like the fucking Wild West for real.
Can you have the sling, like an AR with a sling on it, and just walk around too?
I want to say you can. I think it's constitutional carry. I think it's like just straight open carry, man. Like I haven't looked into it. I'm not a gun dude. There's not a single firearm in this household.
I can only imagine there's people on YouTube that do these things. They walk around city purposely being recorded with ARs on their back, and they're just walking like a normal thing, and people call the cops. The cops pull up and they start questioning, interrogating. Why are you doing it? It's like, it's my right. I can do this. As long as there's not one in the chamber, I can do this. Like this, and sure enough, some of the cops, they didn't know that. That blows my mind too, because that some cops don't know that a civilian can do that. So
I'm gonna start walking around with a backpack full of just like beer bottles filled with gasoline and like some fabric in them and be like, and just see if people freak out. And I'd be like, why are you freaking out? It's just like, it's
my candle. It's my candle.
Like, why would you think that just because I got a backpack full of Molotovs, I'm going to go start some shit?
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
I think it's wild.
I'm pretty sure constitutional carry is also legal in most states, like rifles and stuff like that. Like you could just carry them around, like.
That's so weird to see, though, too, man. Like, could you imagine me just walking into Walmart with my M4 and just, I'm gonna just get here. I'm here for milk and Oreos and just walk. People would be freaking the fuck out.
Now, I think once you go into private property, it gets different.
Yeah,
so you can't just walk into the Walmart. That's not really public. So.
Although I don't think Walmart gives a fuck. I think Walmart is definitely on the side of like, you're gonna come here and spend money. We don't care. We don't care. You barely got to wear like a shirt and shoes in this store. We think we care if you got an assault rifle strapped to you.
It is sad that like while I'm all for gun control in some respects, right? It does kind of like rub me the wrong way that the whole reason gun control exists is to like get guns out of like black and brown people. Like,
yes.
Like basically a bunch of white people got afraid of the Black Panthers, and then literally people started people started coming out to do gun control and stuff to get the hands out of like black people and stuff.
But only a little bit, because they still like there's still like a not a ban, but I know they don't put a lot of dollars towards like researching gun violence, like statistically and scientifically. Like I know that's not a thing that there's a lot of like government dollars that goes towards, or any government dollars at all.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate it is, but I mean, what I've read online for years is that the NRA like heavily lobbies the government to not pay, so that the government doesn't do government funded research into gun violence and stuff like that. Which is why you don't see like as many like CDC studies and stuff like that on like gun violence in America. There are some, and again, I don't know how accurate that is. It's just something I've read a lot, that the government itself, we don't fund gun control research because of how much like the NRA lobbies and stuff.
I've read a similar thing. I've read that like the few studies that do exist have mostly been like funded by like private parties and like various think tanks and other groups, but it's not like federal dollars from the CDC going to study it, which is interesting. It's an odd thing. How are you going to solve a problem if you're not researching it? Maybe the CDC would do their research and they would say, you know what, the solution to gun violence is every single person in America needs a gun, and then we have a free gun program in America, and everyone gets their little Glock or something.
I don't know. I do think though that there needs to be more guidelines or something more to it, But at the same time, fuck it. I'm gonna still carry my shit, and I hope no one ever makes me use it.
I do think we got sidetracked, because I don't know that this is supposed to be a full on like gun control discussion, because I did not come prepared for a gun control discussion.
Yeah, neither did I, but I was saying
I feel like that's when I need to get like more statistically like up to date on and look at some actual research.
All it takes is one hot take to get into gun control topic. It's Tony saying, "Yeah, just give every fucking New York citizen a gun."
I'm a hot taker. I just give it out to people.
But is violence actually is it straight up in New York currently? I don't keep up with New York news.
If you just look at the news up here, it's all they're reporting, and I don't know if that's because the
metric, though.
That's what I was going to say, though. Like, is it statistically up, or is it just because I've heard this thing about like mass shootings where people are like, oh, mass shootings happen all the time now and blah, 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 blah. And I have heard that statistically mass shootings are actually not up. It's just that we have better reporting now, and like we have a 24-hour news cycle, and like it's easier to hear about these things because we're so connected now. We're not you're not getting your news from the fucking newspaper that gets delivered to your front door anymore.
Like, think about if we had the news cycle that we had now, but in the early 90s, late 80s, it would have been like insane, the stuff that was going on in New York. But like, yeah, maybe if you overanalyze, it's not like, I mean, I definitely have seen stuff that like has kind of been like, whoa, this is a little different than what I'm used to. That's mostly in the subway. But I guess, that they're saying, but like I said, I think it has something to do with the candidacy for the mayor, the next mayor. I think it's a big push. The NYPD, ever since last year, the George Floyd stuff and the protests, and then the initial looting that happened in the city, man, it was a little bit scary. That night, if you lived in the Bronx, bro, you could hear the mobs outside just destroying everything. Bro, they were running cops over. Like, it was like complete lawlessness, and they had to put on an issue a curfew. Ever since then, the NYPD got such a bad rep. It was around the time where shit was happening in Portland, Seattle. Ever since then, the NYPD kind of took a step back and kind of aren't policing the way that they used to, which is a great thing that they did that. But now it's like, it's really up to the community to step in and be like, you know what I mean?
I think there's some maliciousness and things like that. I think that these police departments and these police unions, like, they hear that, like, the defund the police, and they don't look into it more, because I think Buchel's touched on this before. Defund the police is terrible branding, because it's not actually, it is defunding the police, but it's moving these police dollars into other programs that can help with policing. Like, it's not just like we're just gonna have no police now. Everyone gets a gun. Just deal with your own shit. Fucking Wild West. It's not that. But I think that the police unions and, like, the police departments, they are doing what we call malicious compliance in my job, where they're like, okay, fine, fuck it, we're gonna do the very bare minimum of policing. And now with all these defund police movements, oh look, crime is up because we're not policing anymore. Like, we've just stepped back so fucking far. That like, and they're like, and now crime's up. This is what you get for defunding the police. Like, I think it's like a malicious. I feel like there's a malicious thing like that going on with a lot of police departments throughout the country.
It's what it absolutely feels like in New York.
I don't think you'll ever be able to prove that, the same way that it's incredibly hard to prove that cops have, like, ticket quotas and things like that. Even though they fucking do, everyone knows that cops have ticket quotas, but trying to prove that is fucking damn near impossible. There's been just a handful of, like, lawsuits and, like, things that I've heard about in various police departments across the country, where they've actually found out, like, oh shit, you guys do actually have ticket quotas, and you got arrest quotas and things like that.
I just hope one day we can get a greater sense of community in New York, that we could actually all come together and actually start, like, making shit happen. There's such a separation in society nowadays, but I guess that's, like, because everybody's really, I don't know, I can't say everybody's selfish, but you look at Instagram, just go through a couple of people's pages and you're like, wow, you're really into yourself, my guy. But I guess it's not bad to, like, celebrate your life and stuff like that and the things you do. But I just don't see a lot of community anymore. You don't see a lot of community, people getting together. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff that's happening in our communities, if the police isn't going to help us with, we can pretty much figure it out.
You really using the recording to clean your eyes?
What is going on up there,
Tony? Something got stuck in my eye. That should stop. I'm sorry.
You know what's funny? I didn't even touch on this. I almost died of an allergy attack today. I go to this fucking guy's house. Oh my
God.
And I swear to God, ask my wife. It was, dude, one of the most miserable experiences of my life.
For 2 seconds that you was here.
The 2 seconds that I was here, by the time I got to my house, my eyes were puffy, completely red, itchy. I took 2 allergy pills, got on them, started on my way up. I was falling asleep. I had to sit in the back with my daughter because I was fucking knocking out. My daughter refused to go to sleep for a variety of reasons, pissing me off. She asked for milk for like an hour of the ride. We didn't have any milk. It's like, yo, drink some fucking water. We're going to go home. We're going to do whatever you want. She's like, milk. We had to pull over, go to a gas station, buy milk, give her the milk. We're like, all right, here's your milk. She's like, man, I don't want it. Destroyed me. I was fucking livid. It was ridiculous. Ultimately, my aunt gave her a Pringle chip, and she started falling asleep while eating the chip. Kind of reminiscent of the one time that we got chimneys, and my chimney came with tomatoes, and I blamed the tomatoes for why I was falling asleep at 5 o'clock in the morning after having tons of shots of fucking Jameson. And it's like, yeah, really, the fucking tomatoes is what's causing you to fall asleep, guy? Like, come on. Like, you're fucking bullshitting me here. Okay?
Y'all had just flown in, too. Y'all were fresh, like, off the plane, and we're like, do the bar right now.
Yeah, fly in, do the bar, hang out till 5 o'clock in the morning, go get some food, and then fall asleep and blame it on the fucking tomatoes.
Didn't y'all do like a half day of work too, or like a full day?
Yeah, we worked.
Got off of work. Tony got off a little early because I think he drove up to my house.
I had to get off like an hour or two early. So,
complete tangent. because of Tony's eyes, dude. My eyes were fucked. And I was fucking dozing in and out the whole time my daughter was crying. So I had to comfort her while like waking up repeatedly. All of this shit because you got fucking cats, Tony. Get rid of the fucking cats. I fucking hate cats. I'm sick of this shit. Who the fuck wants a cat in their house? Joey, I don't even want to hear you talk, all right? There's all this cat bullshit. This shit needs to stop. This shit's overwhelming. It's nonstop. It's unsolicited, okay?
You
it's
switch to a cat.
Control.
You switch to a cat. You ain't got to worry about fucking dog hotels.
Oh,
you ain't got to worry about fucking being there for a couple hours just to walk them and shit. Nope. Cat got a litter box. That shit can. That bitch will be fine.
It's disgusting.
With its
you
food
just keep
and
a
water
box of
there.
shit in your house.
You ain't got to worry about shit.
It's a box of shit. It's a lot of shit. You actually have
better than shit all randomly around your house like landmines.
This parasite goes straight into your brain, then you want more cats.
Anyhow, before we started talking about the today like recording, I did just read a couple articles about crime being up. And yes, Mateo, crime is up in New York City, but not only in New York City, it's actually up across the entire country.
Yeah.
And nobody really knows what the fuck's going on, but everybody's like, it's like pandemic related. Like it's the one thing that touched everybody, and then it's like, all right, crime is up across the country, so it's like, it's likely this thing. I don't know. I think everybody's been cooped up for so long that now that everybody's hitting the streets again, it's like, yeah, people are getting into some bullshit.
We're all a little crazy. I've hit the bar too hard the last 2 times that I've gone out to the bar. Like it's hard to be like, oh, this is where my limit normally would have been, because it's like, I don't know, the social interaction. You just want to sit there as long as possible, and the next thing you know, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. You're like, I was supposed to fucking leave like 6 hours ago. Why am I still at this bar?
Sometimes I had the last time I had the thing that Tony did. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "You have 1 beer left in you."
Like
I said,
did you have 1 beer left in you?
Yeah, but then the bartender gave me a shot of Tully when I closed out, so just
over the
Are you
snitching?
Are you snitching on your bartenders right now? Like, do the owner watch this show? And
I hope not. And if that fucking owner of that bar is listening, fix your fucking sound system, okay? Shit sounds like blown out cow pussy.
You've been pissed off about the sound system for like 3 fucking years.
He blocked me. The owner of the fucking bar blocked me from the bar page because I was like, "Hey, your sound system is lacking." He didn't like it.
Such a ridiculous criticism.
So Pucho, your story reminded me of this thing that I heard yesterday. I was watching this stand-up comic, and he said this thing, and I can't disagree with it. I think this might actually be like the most psychotic thing that could possibly happen in public. If you were somewhere and like, let's say you're at a bar, let's say you're at a coffee shop, doesn't matter. Let's say you're somewhere where they serve beverages, and a person walked up to the barista or the bartender, and they ordered a glass of milk with ice in it and a straw. That would be the most.
That dude's a fucking
crazy
alien.
That's right. That's like the craziest shit that someone could possibly order at like a bar. Like the only thing crazier would be if they were like, I'll take a double milk on the rocks with a salt rim or something. Like if that was the order, like that would be the only crazier thing. But yeah, they're like
that's fucking ridiculous. It reminds me of a movie that me and my brothers loved when we were children. The fucking straight to DVD classic. Really straight to VHS classic, Cop and a Half. You never watch it? No. Burt Reynolds. Is it Burt? Yeah, Burt Reynolds. Little kid in the neighborhood. He's dying to be a cop. And he tails a cop throughout this movie, and he tries to be a detective himself. It's a completely ridiculous movie. But in one of the funny scenes, they have to go into a bar to investigate, trying to find some guy, and everybody's ordering drinks, and then the kid's like, they're like, "Hey kid, what are you having?" And he's like, "Give me milk." And the whole fucking bar shuts down. The music stops. It gets fucking quiet. Everybody's looking at this kid like, did he really just fucking order milk in a bar? And he's like, in a dirty glass. And everybody's like, oh, okay, it's fucking reasonable. And they just like go on. It's just a completely fucking ridiculous movie scene that you just, popped into my head. Movie I haven't seen since like 1995 or something. So
Cop and a Half. I would keep that in mind.
That movie used to make me want to eat Twinkies. Yeah, they bought like 150 Twinkies in the scene, and they're like hitting the cops with Twinkies. It's fucking ridiculous. or no, they're hitting like the villains in the movies with Twinkies, not the cops. But, yeah. I like Twinkies.
I don't know what our time frame is, Tony. Are we doing another conversation topic?
I think we're done.
We're at the whole 2 hours, but
I do have one quick question that I'm kidding.
We can go straight into addicts.
I think we're done.
But I think we'll save that for another pod. Because
fucking topic lives. All right, we have a fucking topic. It's literally on our spreadsheet. On our spreadsheet.
It's on our spreadsheet.
You don't spread shit. Nah, it's on our spreadsheet. The fucking topic is addicts. Are they dicks?
Question mark.
Basically, someone said that
One
DMX
of
is
us.
a dick for dying of an addiction. And that's all. That's where I'll leave that. It's been on our spreadsheet. We've been trying to talk about this since then. And it just keeps slipping through the cracks. Like today, we must have went long on one of the other topics because now, that's it. We're a little tapped out right now. You know what I'm saying? Really, you guys are tapped out. You know, when our episodes are too long, you guys don't want to watch it. You know, we're trying to keep things short for the people.
Facts.
For the people. Brought to you
So you
by
don't get the addicts
people.
today. So
No addicts today.
Sorry.
Maybe next week.
I mean, you got homeless people. You know, a lot of them are addicts.
Addiction is part of the solution there.
Get
Well-
them addicted.
No, maybe not.
Well,
we
from
coulda-
the
we
One
coulda
Up
worked it in.
podcast,
We could have worked it into gun control too. Are people that own a bunch of guns addicted to guns?
Oh yeah.
no.
These are questions.
Addiction.
Maybe Adam. Maybe
Are cat
Adam's
owners
addicted.
addicted to having cats?
Yes.
100% not true.
Oh my god.
Just saying. I don't think anybody's addicted to anything like drugs. But that's for, like I said, our next pod. So we'll save it. But this is the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, a.k.a. Tony, the great one, the Don. You already know. Here with some of my homeboys. And Mateo, sign us off with that beautiful saying that you do.
Yeah. Go one up yourselves, y'all.
One up, baby.
Got them finger guns.
I don't like
Alright,
his
don't cut
fucking
the
smile. I
recording.
don't like his smile.
Did not even shave his armpits.
Those are fucking hairy.
That shit's
They
black.
look like fucking Zangief.
Should I?
Are you going bare skin, or you just like trimming your own armpits up? What is your
He's
plan
going
here? You're going straight
Should I?
bare.
Should I
No.
take care of this?
I trim mine. I don't go bare skin on my armpits.
I don't
I've
have
never
armpits.
trimmed
I'm
or
trimming
shaved my
everything.
armpits hair. Not once.
I trimmed everything.
Showing that nipple.